of September. All right, we're done.
All right, let's go ahead and get started tonight. Thank you everyone who is joining us, taking time away from your families. Appreciate you joining us again. As the first time we had a little bit of technical difficulties, so hopefully everyone is well still as we move through this. Tonight we'll have Jimmy Casas back with us. He's entering his 22nd year as an NCAA D1 official. He covers conferences from the Midwest to the West Coast. And between the years of 2012 to 2016, he was selected to do the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament. So we are honored and thank Jimmy for being with us. Tonight we are going to have also Ron and Jason from the crew. I believe Gino is going to be on as well a little bit later maybe. I was in communication with him. So thank you, gentlemen, for being on with us. Terrific season. And I know Jimmy is going to talk to you guys a little bit about breaking down the film and things like that as well. So again, we're going to get started. I'm going to play this little video to introduce Jimmy. And then Matt will take over and start the video for the breakdown. All right, Jimmy, Matt, take it over.
Thanks, Jeremy. Hey, first of all, thanks a lot, guys, for letting me break down your video. You know, I have quite a few people that I mentor, and we do a lot of video breakdown ourselves. And so I want to just kind of reiterate this to you guys that this is not about bashing. We're not going after to say how bad you are or why you did it wrong. It's not about call validation. Basically, what I want you guys to really get out of this is what can we do better as officials to get our plays either correct or correctly, which is probably our toughest call is the correct no call. So as we go through this video, don't feel that you cannot say anything. If you have feedback, I want this to be more of a forum. I'm going to be asking questions, and I want you guys to ask questions if you have questions as well. Just do me a favor and don't but me. Yeah, but we're supposed, if you know, just if you have a question, ask the question, and then we'll go from there. I'm not, like I said, it's not about bashing. It's all about me trying to help you, and you do not have to agree with what I say. All right, I'm not the end all of officiating. There's some things that your association may want you to do, but I ask this before we get started is that if you can be open-minded, clear-minded for the next hour and a half or 2 hours, however long we go, and just take in the feedback and then discard what you don't want or don't need. And then remember, this is not about bashing, and it's not about seeing how bad our fellow officials are doing. It's all about how we can get better. So we'll start it off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a few plays in the first quarter with is it Ron and Jason that's on? And then we'll do, I'm probably going to skip the second because there really wasn't too much going on in the second. We'll do a few plays in the third, but we're really going to break down your fourth quarter and your overtime, because that's usually when we had a lot of plays of complexity that I thought you guys can take a look at and either tell me why and if you could do better, or why you did what you did, and that way everybody learns. Are you good with that, Jason? Can you hear me? Okay, good. All right. Is it Ron? Is Ron on?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, very good. All right. All right, Maddie, go ahead and start. Go to the to start with the jump ball. I'll tell you, and then we'll stop it at or yeah, just go ahead and start it, and then go to the first call of the game is going to be on Jason. It's a hand check. Okay, stop right there, Matt. Okay, see your position right there, Jace. What I would recommend you do is stay right there. That's where go back a little bit. Is have a 45 because you're now basically sideline oriented. And this way you're cutting off your right vision. So I would stay more at a 45 right before you got to this position. That way, because you have a competitive matchup, but it's really not as competitive as if he's going to get a closer as he steps closer to him. This will allow you to see off ball as well. So you'll see as the play develops. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay.
Yep. And you see how it stopped. You see how it came up to you? You would have saw that prior to, right? There you go. That's your position right there. That's where I would have liked to have seen you start to play with. Okay, continue. Good. And go ahead and if you can make it down to the 628 mark, Matt. You can play it right here from here. This is a good call, and I'll tell you why. We have points of emphasis, and one of the biggest things they want us to really focus on is what? Freedom of movement. This is a freedom of movement call, and it doesn't allow the guard to get to where he's going. I want you to remember this. If you allow the guards to run the offense, whatever offense they're playing, it's going to be easier for us to officiate because now they can actually run with spacing. And when we have space, that allows them to be able to cut, to move through whatever the offenses that they're running. So as you can see, as it's going, boom, there's a reroute. Good job of cadence whistle, Jace. Come and get it. Now you do, keep going. Go ahead and play it, Matt. Stop right there. Now, what I'm asking you on this, Jace, was that a push or did you have a two-hand?
Well, looking at it again, since it's been a while, it looked more like a push.
Yeah, it looks like a push. Is he riding him? Does he have an arm bar on him?
Yeah.
Would you? Because a push is with two hands, and I'm extending out, pushing out. This is a reroute, which I would even do. Now I don't know your high school mechanic, but I'm doing a hand check on this, and possibly if the coach doesn't know, and then show him a forearm, just say he's riding him with the forearm.
Okay.
So freedom of movement, I'm doing a hand check on it.
All right.
That's just my opinion. Just something to think about because of freedom of movement with guards, we usually have hand checks. We don't have a push, and usually we have a push from a guard. It's usually from behind. So just something to think about because they're going to question where did he push him. So just something to think about. Okay, you have any questions on that, Jace?
No.
Okay, 545, Matt. That's good right there. You can start from there. Okay. I think this is Ron. Okay, go back. Okay, stop right here. Okay, Ron, can you walk me through this play? Can you tell me what you're watching, what you're looking for? Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, sir. I can hear you.
What do you got?
Well, actually, I was late. I wasn't there. I wasn't in position to see that all the way through. Now watching it.
Okay, so you're see. Here's what happens on these plays, guys. Go ahead and back a little bit, Matt. As we come up to this play, watch yourself as you slow down to the play, where you still should be working your way to get underneath these shots, because what are we looking for on shots? Have you ever heard of point of contact? The point of contact is elbow up to wrist. That's what we're looking for. And when we referee a three-point shot, we should always be underneath plays looking at feet, going to the defender, and then taking the defender to the arm. So right now you should be actually be underneath. You should be underneath this play, kind of where the below the 20, where the free throw, right there, where the arrow, right about right there, maybe even down a little bit more, about right there, so you can see the point of contact. Now, as I'm watching this play, it looks like your head goes with the ball, and then you go back to the as the shooter goes down, and then you go back down. You see that?
Uh-huh. I sure do.
So, like I said, we all get caught sometimes. Okay. Now I wish. So I'm gonna ask Jason. Jason, do you have a look at this play as well?
Yeah, I should have because I don't have any matchups in my area.
Okay. So let's watch the center position. Stop. Okay. So we have, remember we always just say the coaches are always like, well, he's right next to it. Well, those days are over with. Now it's who has the best look to get the play correct. And what we call that is whistle cadence. And it should be either a primary whistle cadence or a secondary whistle cadence. So on this play, it's kind of tough. Even though Ron is on top of this play, you've got an assistance with Jason who could easily come and help if he needed to. If you deemed that he got fouled and Ron was behind it or was out of place, you could have easily came and helped him because you had the best open look on this play. If you look at it right there, because you have nobody to officiate. Okay, go ahead and finish the play. Now, I don't know if he got him or not. You can't really tell by if he flops out of it or doesn't. But you can also tell by if he's trying to sell it by their body language. Watch the kid go down and then watch his body language. Usually if they think they got fouled, they'll say something. In my opinion, this is a correct no call because he sits down and flops out and he's trying to sell. He's trying to fool you. So I think we got lucky on the play just because we weren't in the best position to make the call. I think JC did a nice job of maybe peeking over there and helping. And then our third best look would probably be from our lead, but he's blocked and that'd be tough for him to come get. All right. So learning point, get underneath 3-point shots, any shots actually, get underneath the play to look for point of contact, which is elbow to wrist, and you're going to referee feet, you're going to referee defender, then you're going to referee arm to elbow. All right. All right.
Hey, Jimmy, real quick, Gino is on now as well. So,
okay.
Gino, welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Good. Okay. Let's do go to 535, just so we can just let it play out a little bit. There you go, right here. This is fine. Okay, go back a little bit. Actually, start at 540. That way we can see. Yeah, just let it run from right there. Okay, so as we go back, whose play is this? Whose primary play is this? Anybody from the crew?
It's a slot.
C.
You think it's a C? Or do you think it's a trail?
I say the C.
You say C? What about you, Jace?
Yeah, I would say it's a slot.
Gino or Ron? Everyone
Yes.
says it's a center position.
I would say the center.
Okay, slowly play this, Matt. Stop. Okay, go ahead and play it. Slow it. And I want to ask you, does the center have an open look on this play?
Now the other player blocked me from where I was.
So stop. So does the trail, who should be up in our picture, have the best look at this play? He beats him. Our trail should be up maybe a foot behind us. He should be up by the top of the key right now, about right there, 28-foot mark. He should be hustling up there as we have possible trap. Center, I do love that you're looking back, Jason, to help, to assist on this. And now we have secondary coming over. There's a bump. Who can Jason see that? No,
No.
trail can see that though. All right. So I think we have a call from the trail? Go ahead and play it, Matt.
Yeah, I think the trail put a whistle. Somebody put a whistle on it.
Well, I know Jace wanted to, or he did, but he did. I think the trail did actually have a whistle because if you watch
Gino
Jace's
did.
body language, he puts it up halfway and he drops. Boom, and he drops. Jace, go ahead and go with that, man. Hold it up. It just confirms your partner's call. I mean, it's a good job of looking back and assisting on it. But what I would do is I would wait a half second longer, have a whistle cadence. If he doesn't go, then I would come and get it. I think the trail needs to move up there and hustle up a little further, get there quicker.
I think the trail had it.
Gino had it.
He did. He did, but y'all are saying that he does have it as he comes in late. But I'm just saying with you, Jason, give him an opportunity. If he doesn't, then go get it. But if you do have a simultaneous whistle cadence, just come up with it. Just keep coming. And all it does is just confirm that you had the same thing. Because if you see yourself, you kind of do halfway and then you put it back down.
All right.
So and that's it. That just confirms that hey, we had a block. And I mean, Stevie Wonder could have saw that was a block. So okay, let's go to 440. You can play it from here. Okay, back it up to go 445 and let it play out from, yeah, you can let it play right from there. Okay, stop, go back. This is great position by the center. Good job of being on top of it. Straight, you're straight on with it. You're fighting to get an open look. Okay, play. Okay, go ahead, continue. We have a foul. Okay, so I guess my question is, as a center, as you're working away, you work down. Talk me through your mental process on this.
This is Gino. My mental process as I'm looking in at center court was to make sure we didn't get a back court on the situation.
Very good.
And then once the ball swings over into the new lead, which would have been the new lead primary, or the new trail coming back up, or the old trail, which would have been Ron coming back up, was not to look all the way across the court. But I was mainly watching everything at center court to make sure we didn't get a back court on after that scramble for the ball.
Okay, so let me ask you this: can you officiate cross court from the center position?
Yes, you could if need be.
Okay, go ahead and play it forward, Matt. Stop. Okay, so we have. So I think who was at the new trail position on this play? Was
Me, Ron.
Ron.
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this: so where were you at the position? Where were you? What was your thought process?
To stay behind the play.
Okay. That's it? Just stay behind the play? Did you ever think about possibly, have you guys ever heard of 2 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like, so 2, okay, you can even go 3 and 3, whatever. So we got here. So my question to you is, the ball was kind of at midcourt and I don't see you in the picture. That's the only reason why I'm asking. Were you thinking of a turnover? Were you thinking of a possible breakaway? What else was going through your mind? Only reason why I'm asking is because I want to make sure that you understand.
It was a turnover. That's why I stayed. That's why I stayed there. That's why I stayed back. I don't know why I'm not in the picture.
So your thought process is that you thought there might be a possible.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, because they were scrapping in the center of the court, so I was kind of stayed and waited to see what was going to happen.
Okay. Okay. Now, like I said, these are all my opinions. You can tell me I'm wrong, whatever you want. You can write it off, whatever. But in my opinion, when we have a scrum kind of at the middle of the court, I'm trying to get closest to as I can to assist to be on this play. Because if you would have on the scrum, if you would have been up in, you'd have probably been at the right under maybe the top of the key on sideline oriented. And then when this play happened, you would have been on top of the play right there. So my thought process is if I see a scrum and I'm at trail from lead to new trail, I'm trying to get involved as much as I can without being in the play. So I'm getting myself in the best position to officiate what possibly could happen. So I'm always thinking of 1 to 2 plays ahead to put myself in a position to where I can officiate that play. To where if I don't have to officiate that play, then I'm only 1 to 2 steps away from getting back to my original position.
Okay.
So I would have been up trying to officiate this play, and then when you blow the whistle on the foul, you would have been closer. You would have been closer, a lot closer to the play when you blew the whistle. Go ahead and play it, Matt. Good pickup. And then here's the second part of that. The center, if the lead or the new trail does not have a whistle on that, you can come get that. That would be your secondary. You could have a secondary whistle on it. All right.
Yes, sir.
And it'd be tough for the new lead, I think it's Jason, to come way up there to get that. Okay, and then we'll do one more. Let's do 4:27, and then we'll go to the third period. Okay, so back up. Go to about the 4:30 marker. Let's play it from the beginning. And then we talked about freedom of movement, guard play. Jason had a good first call out of the chute on a hand check or reroute. I want to ask you, is this the same kind of play? Go ahead and play. Watch. So here's your defender. Is he riding him or rerouting him?
Yes.
Okay, so who in your opinion should have a whistle on this play and be in position wise?
The trail.
I would say with it coming toward me at the C, it left Ron's primary and
Stop
top right there. The bump, I would say the trail, but then as an open look coming toward me equals well to C.
Very good. So go ahead and go back to the beginning of the top. Go back a little, Matt. Go ahead and play from there. And right there's your reroute. That's where we would have had a whistle from trail because he reroutes him. He's not allowing him to get to his spot right there. Okay. One more dribble. You'll see how he's trying to get there and how he's getting pushed out. And I like, here's what I really like about this play. Ron is refereeing front, backside, and Gino, you're refereeing front side of this play. Now, if Ron doesn't have a whistle on this play, Gino, come get it. Because like I said early in the game, as long as we have freedom of movement with guard play, our game becomes so much easier because now they're allowed to run whatever offense coaches are trying to get them. And now all we got to do is referee the legal contact, our points of emphasis. But as long as we can get them and allow them to get where they need to get, because that's one of our point of emphasis. Point of emphasis is what? Guard play, physicality, chuck, everything that goes with our point of emphasis that they want us to call to clean the game up, to get rid of the physicality, to make it more of a finesse game. So on this play, this would have been consistent with the first call that Jason had right out of the chute. And it would have sent a message that, listen, you gotta beat them to the spot or get your hands off. Okay? So those are a couple plays in the first that I just kind of want to go over. There's a whole bunch more that we can go over, but I think these are the ones that I just want to kind of go over on positioning. So let's go to the second, the third quarter. And go to the 3:28 mark. So actually go to like the 3:30 mark in the third quarter. So, Gino, I was telling him that we're just going to do a few in the first. We'll do a few in the third, but I really want to break down the fourth quarter and overtime.
Yes, sir.
That's where you guys had your plays of complexity. You guys had, I wasn't even at the game, but I could feel the energy just watching this video. One thing I can tell you guys, neither coach can say you guys didn't bust your ass because you guys worked your ass off into the game.
Thank you.
So nicely done. Okay, so is this the third? Go ahead and we can let this play out. Excellent no call. Verticality. Good job. Good job, positioning wise. Okay, so on this play at 328, I want you guys to watch a post play. It'll be underneath. Okay, go ahead and stop it right here. It's going to be, that's actually a good play. A little bit further along. Boom. It might be in the fourth quarter I'm thinking about. Go ahead. Go ahead. Back to 328. Boom. Okay, so I want you guys to focus on 22 white and 24 blue. Okay, we'll let it play and then we'll rewind it and talk about it. Go ahead, Matt. Okay, stop. Okay. So let's talk positioning wise. Whose primary area of coverage is this? Would you say?
On 24?
On post play. 22, 24. Go ahead and play it, Matt.
Right now, C and Lee
Center.
is right in the circle.
Okay, so you got center position, has the best open look. I agree. Okay, continue. Okay, stop. Okay, remember what I said. High school all the way up to I know in the NBA as well, you know, not so much in the NBA, but more through college, it's physicality. They want that out of the game. So we have a first foul on 22 white here with a hold. You can see the wraparound. And we've got a backside look. I think, Gino, you have a backside look on it, and I know Jason has a front side look on it. Right there. You see
Yes.
the arm underneath the jersey?
Yeah, I see that one. I see
Yeah. So if we call that right away, that cleans up our post play. And what I usually do when I have kind of, if I see my post play starting to get rough and I crack the whistle, the first thing I say to them as I'm going, I say it with a tone to where I'm not scolding them, but I'm letting them know. And I always go, easy, gentlemen, easy. And I say it just enough to where they know what's happening. But I want the coaches to know and understand that, hey, we're not going to let that happen tonight on either end. And then I'm going to go report. And then now if the coach, when I'm going to report a hold, I'm going to say 22 white, hold in the post or whatever you guys, whatever verbiage you use, you know, it'll be blue ball underneath. Okay, so we missed the first, and I think actually, Jason, I think you would have been right on point if you blow your whistle on this play here. Okay, continue. Okay, now we got stop. So now go back. Now we got stop right there. Now what do we have? We have a second foul with an offensive ward off. We see his right arm up in his neck area, right? So now that's the second foul that we could have had that we missed. As the physicality starting to get a little harder, and see now the physicality is starting to get rough, and now it gets to as we continue. So there's our second foul. Continue. Stop. Go back. Go back. Okay, play it and stop. There's your third foul on 22 white with the displacement. Those is hip into 24 blue, right? So your physicality is starting to, they're both working hard, but they're not working smart. They think that's what, you know, that they got to play physical with each other in order to see who, you know, who's better, who can get to the spot first. So there's your third foul, okay?
We allowed it. That's why they started doing it.
Excuse me?
Unfortunately, we allowed it, so that's why they kept doing it, probably.
Very good. Very good. So who could have a whistle on this play here?
Well, that was mine in the slot the whole way.
So Lee's definitely got to assist on this play, because Jason, you've got the ball. The ball's in your primary. So Trail, okay? So Trail, since you really don't have any competitive matchup, then you got to start looking into your secondary, which would be helping out in the post play and high screens, low screens, free throw line extended. So I'd take a step down, maybe one step to see if you can peek through 20 and 1 to help out with any type of post play. And I would even maybe
Gotcha.
go down a little further if you could, down to where the number 36 is to help out with that. Because our lead should be heading over as the ball settled or come to rest opposite. Okay, so there's our third foul. Go ahead. Jason, great point. Okay, now go back, and I want you guys to watch the end of this play and tell me what you got. Stop. Stop right there. So there's our fourth foul, and who has the best look on this play? Our trail. He's wide open to it, right? Because Jason, there's no way. Jason has ball. So as we have the physicality, and right there, okay, right there. So he goes across his neck to clear him out, okay? Jason, on your play here, what I would do is I would get underneath the play, underneath the shooter, work underneath right there to see the point of contact, 2 to 3, 3 to 2, kickouts, and anything that you can miss, because right now you're straight line. Because if he goes up for a quick shot and the defender comes and nicks him on the elbow, which they're getting really good at, you're going to miss that. So you want to be in between, underneath, and just work as hard as you can to get underneath there to get in between that, the defender and the offensive player. So we're working underneath. Okay. So now Jason, there's no way Jason can help out on this play. All right. So lead. Got to be aware. Like I said, I can feel the energy in this game already, and I wasn't even there. I'm just watching it. And 24 and 22 kind of went after it in the first half too. And like I said, they're working hard, but they're not working smart. And I think what we could have done at some point, as if we recognize that, it said something to them. You guys, man, great job of working hard, but you got to take the physicality out of it. Work smart, just listen to what we're telling you. Whatever you guys have to do or say to help them get focused back on playing ball instead of wrestling. And that's what this kind of turned into. It was a wrestling match. Okay, go ahead. So now watch 22 get up. And then you see the elbow get thrown up in the air. And right there. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this. Okay, if he connects with that elbow, what do we have by rule?
By high school rule,
Mm-hmm.
above the net, we could have an intentional or either a flagrant.
Flagrant what?
We only
Flagrant
have high
personal
school
or flagrant technical?
Flagrant technical, yes, sir.
Yeah, because the ball right now is considered dead. Okay, so do we have would you agree that that could be? Now let me ask you this: with him throwing it, how would we address this? Anybody on the crew?
With me being going to
communicate.
Jason Ron, with me getting ready, Jim, to bring the ball in from the to be the new trail, and watching the ball go out to come back in and seeing that particular play, I said, like I say, it would be a dead ball foul. So being a dead ball foul, we definitely have a technical. And if we go with flagrant, then the kid is ejected from the high school football, state high school finals in that situation. Equal as well, I could have gone with a excessive swinging of the elbows.
Exactly. Very good. And what's the rule for that?
That's just a violation. The ball goes white.
Correct. So let me ask you this: would that been an option that we could have done?
Yes, sir.
In my opinion, that probably would have been the best option, because you're going to, one, send a message, and two, 24 is probably one of their best players in this game.
Yes, sir.
Right? And you could tell he's getting frustrated, and that right there can lead us down a path we don't want to go. So when we're going to trail to new lead, okay. So let me ask you this. So Ron, did you see it at all from trail?
I did see it.
Okay, and what was your thought process?
Oh shit.
I've been there.
Yeah. Oh shit. What? I gotta put this out real fast once I get down there.
Okay. So, and then, Jason, did you see anything?
I'm sorry.
Did you see anything
Yeah,
on this play?
I did, and I thought the same as Ron.
Okay. Okay. So the good thing about it is that you guys were aware of it. You guys understood it. The only thing that we had that this needed to be called, right, wrong, or indifferent, because the energy is so high, their adrenaline is flowing like crazy. You know, they want to. They're nobody's going to back down from each other. So we have to make sure that they stay focused and they get back to playing basketball. So go ahead and continue playing it, Matt. Okay. Okay. So go ahead and stop it right there. So in transition, Ron, when you recognized it, so when we're going from trail to new lead, what are we picking up as we're going? What's the first matchup we're looking for when we're going trail to new lead?
That's Gino.
No, I'm talking about prior, after the
Oh.
after the whiff of the elbow, the play
Okay.
prior to this.
Okay.
Yeah, this one right here. So we know we saw it. So Ron, what are you looking as you're going from trail to new lead? What are you picking up?
22 and 24.
Right, you're picking up bigs, right? So from trail
Yes.
to new lead, we're always finding our bigs because for two reasons. Wherever the bigs are going to go, that's usually what's going to tell us what side of the court that they're going to try to run a play on. So
Right.
usually when as you're coming down from trail to new lead, I'm finding my bigs for two reasons. One, make sure they're not bumping and grinding each other, hitting, doing whatever they're doing on the way down, but also to get me to where I'm possibly going to be able to read offensive sets from where they're going to go. So on this way down, right now, I would be screaming and saying, easy, knock it off. I'd be saying something in order to get their attention, in order to let them know that you know, it ain't gonna happen. So I would have been on them too. As soon as I saw that elbow swing, well, one, we should have had fouls prior to that. Okay, we had 3 or 4 fouls that we didn't call. Then we have a swing of the elbow. Okay, we should have had a violation. So we don't have any of those. We go down. I am making sure that they hear me. In fact, I'm making sure grandma hears me say something to them if we don't have a whistle. And then first dead ball. Somebody from the crew has to go to those two and say something to them. You guys knock it off. Either way, we're going to have a double foul, and you guys, it ain't going to be good. And then I usually come back with something personal to them, like, listen, we need you guys in this game. You guys make this game better. But if you guys keep playing like this, you guys are going to be sitting, and that doesn't do anything for anybody. And I try to earn their trust from that. But if we don't have play call, we at least need to address it in some sort of manner. Go ahead and continue. What I really do like is this no call right there. We have great verticality, center and lead. You guys, just because we have something crazy on the other end, you're not just going to penalize them because we didn't call it down the other end. Great job of recognizing that we have verticality.
Hey, Jimmy, real quick. Can you touch on just real quickly how important it is to recognize or to maybe scout prior to coming in who the important players are of the game, as far as, like you say, your key individuals who you need in the game and kind of working through with them. Kyle touched on it a little bit last week. Just maybe if you want to address that as well, kind of going into a game, recognizing who those athletes are.
Absolutely. So there's different ways you can go about finding out who the go-to guys or gals are for your game. And you know, you can either ask fellow officials, you can read up in the you know, the paper. You can ask, you know, other people that you may know, or you may hear about other teams that you know that that's their usually their go-to guys and gals. But biggest thing is that you need to do some type of background information on who's who and what each team does. I even do it on coaches. I'll even do go read their bio, what they've done. These two coaches apparently, the guy was getting ready to retire from the Blue. That was his last game from Dillard. And then Bartlow, he's really emotional because he wins the game and he's crying. So, but I'm doing a background check even on them, on their bio. I'm doing on kids, and I'm asking around. And I do that actually at every game that I do. Even if I've reffed them 50 times, I'm still seeing if there's any changes. Is there any injuries? Is there any, anything happened? Did we have technical fouls last game? I'm always doing some type of homework before I go to that game. And it may take a little bit more effort to do that, but let me tell you, it is so worth it. Because when you have your top 10 players on the floor, anybody after that does what? It changes the game. So when we have a timeout called, it's not called a timeout to stop the bleeding, it's stop to change the game. So now we got to understand is why was that timeout called? Okay, because let's say 24 is frustrated. The coach called timeout to get 24 re-engaged or pull him out, and now we got a substitute. So what is this substitute? Is he just a banger? Is he just a guy that's going to come in and foul? So we've got to recognize that. But the biggest thing is if you know who your star go-to people are and who your disruptors are going to be, it makes your job a lot easier. So we know 24 and 22 are their bigs, right? So we know that those two guys need to be in the game. And the reason why is because they make the game better. Unless they start getting physical and frustrated, then we aren't doing our job to get them back to playing. So what I usually do is I usually find out who I need to make sure that I'm talking to on the floor, because we all know this. If we can get the team captain or even a couple of players on our side in our pocket and we make a call, those kids are going to usually have our back. As long as they know that you're trusted and the coaches go out, they'll usually calm the coach down for you. And I try to get either a captain or somebody else, on my side to let them know I'm human just like you, and you can talk to me at any point. And I try to encourage that. And then I do that, and I try to do that with their number one guy or gal. And it just helps with our flow of the game is so much easier. But yeah, definitely find out who's going to make your game better and who can help you with other players and other coaches. But I would definitely look at the bio from the coaches. I would look up who's their team leader, scorer, who's the defender, who had the best free throw percentage. I look at all that, and I think what that'll help you understand. Because a lot of times what we do is we just referee plays and we don't referee the game. And right now we're just refereeing plays up and down. We're not understanding, whose foul is on, why is it foul, how many do they have. We're just refereeing, and it gets us in trouble. But if you understand the whole scenario of the game, it just flows together so much better. And it's like a waterfall, just nice and smooth right off the rock. Okay. All right. That makes sense, guys? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's go third. Let's do 145. That's good right there. You can put it there. Okay. So this is Gino, right? You're at the center. This is your play.
Yes,
Stop.
sir.
Stop. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about positioning on this play. Originally, go ahead and play it. You're catching up to play. Stop. Okay. So your best bet right now is what?
You say my best. I didn't
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah, right. Are you staying there? Do you like it? Would you rather move on the floor? Would you rather move off the floor? Would you rather step back, step front? What do you think?
I like my position right there.
I like it too. Very good. Continue. Go ahead, Matt. Stop. Okay, go back to where before he beats the defender. And stop. Okay, now as he's driving past, this is where I would like to see you take a step or two towards the sideline. Because if you think about it, now it allows you to still referee the defender, and you have space between the offense and the defender, right? So here, if you step down, yep, maybe, and even maybe a little further, even right about right there, you still can officiate that, because if he beats them, you still have that open look. I like that, Ron, you got the other side look, and you're looking at it, which can help. That would be a secondary cadence if you need to come get it if Gino doesn't blow on it. Okay, so we have a primary. So on this play here, okay, go ahead, continue, stop. Okay, Gino, you see where you're at? You're straight
Yeah,
line.
Yeah,
You're right behind number 3. Who has the best look at this play?
Ryan now.
Yeah, the lead, right?
Lead.
Because that's a secondary defender, and the secondary defender is coming over. And Gino, you're watching the primary player, so you're going to get to that late. So the lead has the look the whole way through, and he can tell what the second defender did. Okay? In my opinion, this is a slip play. I don't think he makes enough contact. I think he slips the defender and plays on, and I don't think – now, Ron, you can correct me, but I think you have a no call on this play because you have a slip as well. Now, I could be totally off base, but go ahead and play it. Then we'll watch the play underneath, from underneath it. Okay, now we'll watch the replay. And slip. See how he slips him? It doesn't affect the shot.
Yes.
And he slips him. And number 4 is throwing himself back to try to fool
Sell
you.
it.
Yeah. So in my opinion, so Ron, did you have a slip play on this, or did you have a foul as well?
No, no foul.
No foul, slip, right?
Yes.
Right. So this play is a lead play, with the whole way through. I'm letting Ron live and die with this play. Now, if it's an actual block and he does make contact and affects a shot, we don't have a whistle from lead. Then I'm coming with a secondary cadence, and I'm coming to get that. But this is a leads call, and I'm letting him live and die with this. And like I said, as you got straight lined, you really couldn't tell. So as you can see, he slips, and there's no effect on the shot. And it's a play, in my opinion, that's a play on. Anything to add, you guys?
No, good move. Good move. Yeah, because right here, I'm right behind him, and by the time I see what appears to be the contact, Jim, Ron, and Jay, is I step around the backside of 3, and like you say, Jim, I get there late and see that now Blue has just stepped in and don't get a very clear look on it now.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. And you know, it's all about primary areas of coverage and understanding that. And I'm not saying you didn't trust them. You guys look like you trusted each other. You know, I don't know how long you guys worked together or how many times you've worked together, but I mean, there's times you work state competitions and you've never worked with somebody. But you guys look, for the most part, you're on the same page. You guys were looking at each other. Just sometimes we try to over officiate sometimes, and we just get caught up. And it's happened to me. It's happened to everybody from NBA all the way down. So don't feel bad. The biggest thing is that understanding primary areas of coverage, who's play, who's call, and then do I need to help on this play? Do I need assistance on this play, or am I just going to let Ron live and die with it? And that's, like I said, understanding the whole play, the whole game, and moving on from there. So this is an incorrect call. And if I was grading on Gino, and I would and then ask Ron the same thing, what did he have? And then I'd go correct, no call from lead. All right. Okay. One more, 25 seconds left to go. You can let it play right here. Stop. Okay, go back, Maddie. Right here, stop. Okay, Jace, what I would suggest is you take a step down a little bit, maybe to where the gentleman sitting on the bench in the black top, Yeah, right between him and that player to be closer to this play, because what happens is you get straight line and you get backs towards you. So I would really be working as hard as you can to try to get the best open look that you can. Because right now you're just kind of standing and you're doing a closely guarded count, but you're not working for angles to see if if there's a possible infraction, a foul, whatever can happen, elbow, whatever. So go ahead and play. Continue. So right now I'd be working my way down, and as it's starting to, you do a nice job of backing out of that. You would have been able to do the same thing if you were lower, to be able to see the initial contact and then be able to back out. You're fast enough and quick enough to do that. You got all three of you guys have nice agility, and you're working to get away. So that's where I would suggest on that play, is to get there. And then go ahead and finish this out. And I have a question when it runs out. Excellent no call. He's our big. We need him. He doesn't do anything. He just stands there. He's just a big body. He doesn't move anything. So my question to you guys, see, he just stands there. He's a big dude. You know, offense creates all that contact. So if we referee the defense on every play, that's going to tell our story, what happens. If we referee the defender, we're going to see that the offense creates the contact. And if we referee the defender, we're going to see if the defender causes the contact. As we see, offense goes A to B, and the big just stands there. He doesn't do anything but just, you know, hold his ground. This is a really good no call by the crew. So I guess at the end of the first and second, or any quarter, did any of you guys communicate with each other? Last second shot or under a minute? Who has the clock?
Gino, I gave it at about the 30-second mark.
About what time?
35-second, 30-second mark.
Oh, okay. Did the crew recognize it?
Jason, did you see me? You remember?
I have no idea.
We've been working together for a couple of games, so we kind of elevated our game and kind of
didn't make a visual. But Jim, what Ron's saying, we talked about it in some of our previous regional games, and what we made it was to make eye contact rather than make a physical hand raise, head tap, hit the watch or whatever. Saying that we felt that we had come to a point where now the C or the trail knows their responsibility in a high school game opposite table. But I did raise a finger on it. Great.
Those are great points. I've been working with guys for 20 years, and we still point to each other, and we still either do a 1 or we still do a clock. And we make sure it's visible on video so that I have my back covered if they say we didn't do it. So I still do it every time. Even if I worked with a guy 5 or 6 times during the season, I'm still pointing at him, his clock. He's tapping his chest, or I'm pointing down, but I'm doing it every time, no matter what. And it's just something, the reason why is because film doesn't lie. It doesn't always tell the truth, but when it comes to what we're doing and how we're communicating, I want to make sure that everybody knows what we're getting ready to get into, especially my partners. So it's something to think about, and I understand exactly what you're saying. We've worked together for so long, and you know we know our responsibilities, but I'm still trying to cover my ass when it comes to whatever I need to. So on last second shot, I'll look, you know, if the ball's coming up off the score, and I will glance at whoever, and we'll get eye contact, and I'll point, your clock, or I'm tapping myself on the chest, and I'm doing it big and proud, like, hey, I got clock, or I'm pointing at the shot clock, hey, we're going down, you know, whatever it is to show that, hey, we are communicating together as a crew so that they can't have one more thing to say we did wrong.
Can I ask Jim on that, where I came down and not just as a crew, I came down and I gave the one last shot at about the top of the key, continued down to C, ball swings to Jason's side. So when you say that, do I need to kind of keep that communication going with a visual until somebody else recognizes me? Do I just give it up and say, okay, now we know we got it? What are you basically saying?
Yeah, that's a great point because you can only do it so much, right? We're still officiating, right? So it's the last thing I want to do is look at my partner and say, okay, you got it. So what you got, the only thing you can do is hope and realize that since you discussed this in your pregame, that last second shot, you know, let's acknowledge who has the last second shot. And if it changes primary, let's glance again and make sure we're on the same page. So
Totally.
and usually in my in pregame, what I tell my crews is I'm like, listen, if we've got a last second shot and we got change of primary areas of coverage, we know that, you know, the trail or the center is going to have last second shot. And if we need assistance on it, you know, let's make sure we're aware of that. But what I try to do is say, hey, let's communicate as much as we can, verbally and non-verbally, throughout the whole game. And I do that just for the comfortability of knowing that, hey, we're on the same page. And it's also going to show on video that when my supervisor or when the coaches take a look at this and go, well, they weren't even on the same page. Because in the fourth quarter, we've got some plays we can talk about communication that you guys did. I want them to know that, hey, we're working our butts off and we're communicating as much as we can. So it's something in pregame that I talk about. Does it always happen? No, but at least we're aware of it. And hopefully it causes a flag for us to say, okay, here's our last second shot. Okay, Gino, you got last second shot. It changes, I'll change position. Now, I'll take Gino's play. Jason may understand that, okay, I need to assist on this for that second shot. I got it. And it just kind of communicates with each other the best way that we can during that last second shot. But we still need to show who has that second shot. Like I told you, it's my opinion. I'm just doing it because I want to make sure that I cover my ass when it comes to either my supervisor or the coaches watching the game. Does that make sense? It's just something to think about. Just make this something to think about. Okay, let's get to the nuts and bolts. Let's go to fourth quarter. You guys had a hell of a game. We'll let it play a little bit. Okay, go back. Go back. Start right there. Watch our post play. We're going to go high post play. Same, 24 right there. Those two guys right there. Watch as they move. Okay, so okay, let's talk positioning. Right, go back. Okay, go ahead and play forward. Stop. Okay, stop. Okay, go ahead and play it, Maddie. Stop. Okay, lead. Right now we saw the big moving over away from us, right? So
Yes, sir.
when I officiate bigs and I'm at lead, when I see him or her going over, now it's going to be strong side. I'm going. So right now, as soon as I saw him go and I knew I didn't have any post play in front of me, as he's leaving to go high post, I'm going with him. And right now I should be at the A because I'm running with him. So go ahead and continue. Stop. Okay, so now we can see from behind that white displaces 24 again from behind. Okay, so back up just a little bit and watch as he's riding him. Watch as he comes up. So we got strong side right there, right? So I'm thinking of going right now as he's going up. I'm going, and there's our bump, and and I'm heading over now. I'm lead going over. There's my push in the back.
That's Michael.
And you'll see the hip go forward. You'll see his momentum come forward. Okay, so when we talk about freedom of movement, we want them to be able to move without any disruption, any impedes, anything that's not going to allow them to get to their spot, right? So Jason made a great point at the beginning of the video, is that you guys didn't call it, and it kind of got away from you. If you'd have called it early, you would have gotten, I think you would have got it in check early. And then we're going to talk to them throughout the game. Listen, like I said, listen, we need you guys in the game. Be smart. And then I'm going to give him an opportunity when I'm at lead and I see him starting to kind of go that route. I'm using verbal relations to keep him in. Easy. Verticality. Hey, straight up. And I'm letting them know that, hey, I want you to understand that you guys are on the verge of getting a foul call. or you guys are on the verge of getting a double foul call. But I'm going to help you out. And this way it makes it so they feel like, hey, okay, this guy isn't out to get me. He's out to help me. So that's what I do, and that's kind of verbiage I use when I see the guys starting to, when it's physical to where it's really starting to get rough. Okay, go ahead, continue. We'll let it play because there's a play coming up at 6:59 that I want to talk about. Okay, so let's play attention. Okay. Okay, this is okay. Go back, Matt. Okay, so this is a two referees. So we got Gino at lead and Jason at the center position, and we've got a rebound and a possible reach in, right? Gino, you got backs to you, and Jace, you got the front wide open to you.
So like a little slave.
Right? Okay, so we got foul. Go ahead and continue. So we have a possible foul right here. Stop. So what I would recommend that you do, Jace, is stay
You still
home
on?
a little longer. Okay, go ahead and finish. Continue a little bit. See, stop. Because as you're going up, Gino has backs, and he's, in my opinion, even though he kind of sees a reach through, he's still kind of guessing on this play. I think, Jason, you need to come right there. A little bit more. If you were to take a step down right there as you're looking at it, I think you have and then if we have a double whistle, then I'd give it up to Gino.
Yeah, I was a little too quick to leave.
It's
Yeah.
up to you.
Because you're looking back at the play, and then as you're looking back, who's watching these players here at the top of the key, right? That would have been your trail. Your trail would be assisting on these plays where you're right here. Because I usually stay home at center a little longer when I have a rebound quick like this, and I see a possible tight a matchup right there on a rebound. I'm going to stay to help front side to the lead's backside. All right.
Okay.
Just something to think about. Go ahead. You can go ahead and play it. Okay, so I think is at 6:01. So let's go to about the 6:10 mark, or 6:10 mark. Okay, this is a travel. And we want to look at your job of busting out of there, Jace. You can pass up the free throws. Okay, so at 6:01, okay, good job. Okay. Stop. Okay, go back. We have a travel. Gino calls a travel. Let's look at, I want you to watch, right? Keep going. Stop. Where's his pivot foot? What's his pivot foot? Right or left foot? Go ahead and play it, Matt. Stop.
Left.
What's
Left
his
foot.
pivot? Where's his pivot foot? Is it right or left?
Left.
Left. Okay, so now I don't want you to do anything else but watch his pivot foot on this play. Go ahead and play it through. Does it move? Does it slide? Or does it stay set?
Well, I'm going to watch it again in slow motion. Jim, it looked like it's just basically kind of like lifts now that it's in slow motion. But here, right here, and as he comes around, I'm looking in his back, and it may have been the contact here in slow motion that caused him to appear to be off balance. So I would say now, looking at it second, that it should have been a no call on it as far as a violation.
Crew, Jason, Gino, or
It looks
Ron,
like-
what do you
I
guys
agree.
think?
Actually, it looks like a good call. It looks like he drags his foot before he leaves the ground to shoot.
You think 11 from behind causes the travel?
Well, yeah, that might be.
Yes.
I mean, he's just watching the foot.
That's what I'm saying. Second, now in slow motion, saying I think 11 caused the body contact here, Jim. Right here, the bump.
Correct. I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Okay, so now we understand that. Now, who had the best look on this play that could have made this call? Could assisted on this call?
Slot.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you got the best open look. Thoughts, Jason?
Well, the only thing I can say is I don't know if I was watching these two in the lane,
Okay.
but yeah, I did have the better angle. I can see perfectly right here.
Yeah. Go ahead and play a little forward. Okay, now stop. So as this is happening, your bigs in the lane, did you feel that they were going to cause something more than what just kind of leaning on each other? Just with your basketball IQ, did you feel like, okay, I gotta be on these guys, or let me help out with secondary and be glancing with the awareness of my bigs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't you think?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I think,
We did it.
my thought process on this is it's a curl play. Towards the center. We got backside, and I think 33 and Blue are they're leaning on each other, but there's nothing physical or rough or anything about it. They're just kind of leaning on each other, and I'm going to be aware of that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, curl play coming to me. I'm going to go right to the defender and see if he causes a travel, a bump, or if he's legal the whole time. And then, you know what they say, we can always be late and right than quick and wrong. So I think this play here, I have a foul on Blue on a displacement, which causes him to travel. Just from what I see on tape here and going back. Agree or disagree? And it's okay to disagree.
Agreed. In slow motion, Jim. I'm going with slow motion.
Yeah.
Agree.
And we don't have the luxury of going slow motion during the game.
Yes, sir.
So, you call what you see and you see what you call. So, right. So we're good. And watch the defender 11 as he moves forward into it right there. Boom. Because all White's trying to do is get around him, and Blue 11 is moving into his space. And that's what causes the bump. And then I think I have a foul. And I think Jace comes in strong and sells it. And then I'd use a bump signal or a push signal on that play as he steps in. So just my opinion. Okay. Go to 553. This is an excellent job, Jason, staying with the play, watching your play. So now we have players in what we call the high, where we want to be at the high C, high center, and that's really the only players that you really have to officiate at this time. This is an excellent get because it's open right to you. Go ahead and finish playing. And a lot of times people pass on that play because it gets knocked right back to the offensive player. But you can see the over the top. As he's going, he doesn't go around, or he goes through the offensive player in order to knock the ball away. Look at your position, point on, you're looking right at the play. And in my opinion, you're refereeing the defender. You're looking right at the defender to see what he's doing illegal. Continue. Boom. And there's the displacement, and there's your whistle. So on my whistle cadence, I always say, I don't know if you guys have heard it, start, develop, finish. You guys have heard that. And if you haven't, I usually watch the play from start. I let it develop, and then I let it finish. Well, I've added one more sequence to that, and that's decision. And so I watch it start, develop, finish, and then I make a decision. And when I make a decision, I say to myself, that's a foul, and that's not a foul. So when I say that's a foul, then I crack my whistle because it gives me my whistle cadence in order for me to see the whole play. And then when I say start, develop, finish, that's not a foul, verbally when I'm self-talking, that allows me to stay off plays. So in my judgment, that wasn't a foul, so it's start, develop, finish, not a foul. I'll let it go. Start, develop, finish, that's a foul, crack. And it allows me to get my whistle cadence to where I see the whole play. So when I crack my whistle, it's not on contact. Okay, go ahead and continue. But this is a really nice call from center, way to stay home watching that play. Okay, let's talk about communication. Go to 5:33, and the play is going to happen at 5:29. Okay, boom, we have a foul. Okay. Okay, so what we have on this here, we have a foul, and it looks like we're giving the foul to the wrong defender. I think you guys were giving it to the big guy, and it
It
should have been
doesn't
on
look
the
like
left.
it. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about it. Let's walk through our protocol and what we should do on this play. Okay. All right. So we got a whistle. Okay. Now, so who reported it? Jason, did you report it? Was it your foul?
Yeah.
Okay. So you call on 24. What happened? Let's talk through it.
I had something else. I'm trying to figure out what I was, from what I recall, I was focused on, I had the foul, but I was focused on something else. Somebody was saying something or something. And if you notice, 24 runs over very quickly and 11 blue runs away. So I got the call, I got the foul. And then as I'm focused on something else, I look back over to get the player number, and there's 24 standing there. So I had and by the reaction of everybody, I knew I had the wrong number.
Okay.
But I didn't know who the foul was. See, 11's already walking all the way this way.
Absolutely.
So that was my fault for not getting the number first. I think I focused on something else when I had the foul call.
Okay. So a little lack of concentration. You had a slip. We all do it. No biggie. Okay. So now you report it, and now everybody starts to go crazy, and your gut says, okay, something's not right. What's our next step?
Well, then
Come to our partners. He came to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So who did you go to first?
He came to me, Ron.
Okay. So Ron, and what was your
And when he came to me, I was like, I thought he had a foul way before that.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, Jason, I have no information for you.
Very good. Great job. Okay, now Jace, you go to Gino. Now what do you say?
I'm basically saying.
I'm pretty sure you said the same thing. Hey, G, did you see who that foul was on?
Okay. And what was your communication to him?
My communication was I didn't know who he had it on, really,
Okay.
because when it all came back out to be 24, I didn't know who it was on, Jim. I didn't know what the situation was.
So on initial contact, Jason was at the center, and Ron, you were at lead, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Did you see the play? Did you see the foul?
I'm pretty sure I did see the foul.
Okay. So right now, I'm making sure I know who my shooter is and the closest if I'm at lead.
Correct.
All right. Okay. Gino, you're looking right at it. Did you know it was on 11? Could you tell, or did you kind of did our antenna go down like, okay, we got a foul, we're going to shoot, and that's Jason's call. I don't have to worry about it.
My antenna went down on that. It's Jason call. He had a foul. Jason, we're going to shoot. I'm going to be trail. Hey, we got two, line it up, guys. And didn't get anything because I'm right here looking back at 24. Now, even then after we talked about it, Jason, Ron, Jim was to know then that 24 wasn't even there. But Jason, if I can, Jay, we had talked about different times, Jim, in our pregame that we know that we got to get our information like quick, because those kids will move. They will move. And when they move, then we up Boo Boo Creek. So
Right.
that was the case.
Very good. But your gut, Jason, tells you, okay, this doesn't feel right. I'm going to my partners. Absolutely on point. Exactly what we're going to do. Now, you have no information. What's our third step?
Table.
What's that?
To the table.
Absolutely. 100% go to your table. Did you go to the table and ask right at that point?
No.
Okay, so you're going to go to the table. Who would you ask at the table?
The official scorer?
How about everyone and anyone that's on the crew?
Everybody at the table.
Yep, that's on our crew. Because everyone working the game, your shot, your timer, your scorer, whoever's involved in the game on the table is part of our crew. I'm going to each of. Did any one of you guys see who that foul was on? That's the first thing. If my partners can't give me any information, I'm going to the table, and they know. They'll see it. They'll tell you right away. And if the coach goes, "What are you talking about?" You know what, coach? Table's part of my crew. I want to make sure we got it right.
I don't know if you can tell on the video, but we did, like, after the next dead ball, we had talked with the FHSAA guys in the locker room before the game, and they said if we have information for you during the game, we will bring it to you, and you guys can determine what you want to do with it. So after this next play, after the first free throw, the FHSAA guys that are you can kind of see them in the screen right there. They're at the end of the table before the Dillard bench, and they called me over and they said it was clearly not on 24, it was on 11. So we changed the call to 11, and then Bartow's coach gets upset, and I got to go have a conversation with him.
Right.
Hey,
Well,
this is Frank Beasley from FHSAA. I was the one that initiated that whole deal. It's because exactly what Jimmy just explained. The table right there said they gave that foul to the wrong person. So, and that's why we stopped it and changed it over at that point.
Very good, and that's excellent. And then what I would do, even during regular season, I would tell when you guys, because we have the luxury where the table crews come into our locker room and we go over certain things. In high school, they usually don't. So whoever the crew chief is, or even whoever can get over to the table prior to the game when you're going over to check to see if the players are in the book or whatever. What I always tell the guys that I'm helping with, tell the table, if you see something that's going to get us in trouble, stand up and call us over. It's okay. I do this during the season, whenever, as long as we get the information correct, so that it's not going to bite us in the ass on down the line. So
Well,
I
Jimmy,
always say, hey, if you see
I'm
something,
glad.
let us know.
I'm glad you just said that, because we actually caught quite a bit of heat for doing that and using the table people as official, but anyways, I know there's a difference in FHS and NCAA, but I just felt like it was the right thing to do at that time. And
absolutely, because it's the right thing to do. And here's the difference: you guys don't have a replay, so our replay is our table. That's who we got to rely on, because the table, and people don't realize this, and people just think that the table, all they do is a score. And no, they're an extension of the crew. They are there to help us when we need help. That's why we always tell them, hey, keep us out of the soup. If you see something happening that we miss, let us know. So when they ask certain questions like that, coach, the table's extension of our crew, we're going to get it right. So now let's go to the communication with the coach, because Jason, you said he kind of gets upset with you, and he's like coming out and he's kind of doing. Go ahead and forward this, Matt, to where we get to the coach and his he wants to communicate with Jason. Great job. Who was it, Gino, that switched with him? That was a great job of letting Jace go over there and communicate with the coach. I think it's after a timeout. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, so it's coming out of the timeout here. Fast forward to this a little bit. and the gentleman that was at the table, and this is my opinion, you did the absolutely correct thing. Absolutely. Because not only that changes the game. 24 is the guy that is that is needed in the game. If we get it up and put it on the wrong, here we go. So now we got antics, like we got the, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? Good job, Gino. Great job of saying, hey, let's switch up so you can talk to him. So here's what I would do in this part here before we talk about what the communication is. Jason, I would walk him back kind of towards the sideline, back into his box off the floor, and just say, hey, come with me, talk to me, and just and lead him back to the his starting position, which is the coach's box.
Well, actually, I thought what I should have done is before the announcer made the announcement that we changed the call, I should have brought both coaches down and explained to them what I did.
That'd have been another great point.
Hey, I'd like to hear from the crew, Gino, Jason, Varys, like what, how did y'all feel about that? Because the last thing I want to do is step in or supersede the decisions that you make. That's a really kind of a tricky situation for us sometimes, because we are sitting at the table and see things that go on, even and not just in basketball, but other sports. I'm just curious what y'all thought.
Is that you, Mr. Frank?
You got it, brother.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. On that play, if I can say something, Mr. Frank, is that in the previous years, remember when we used to have the fourth ref in uniform?
We did.
And then on that play, I don't think that play would have ever happened like that if we had that guy, one of our other guys, myself, whoever was on the table, to come now and stop the situation where I think because our guys weren't in uniform, they had a tendency to lay back, because once you stepped in and talked about it, and then the guys at the table, the Florida High School guys at the table came up to share with us, it's like, well, we was trying to get y'all attention, but they didn't want to bring attention to themselves. But if they had been in uniform, then they could have, even a jacket, they could have stepped in and got it right with. So I thought it was and I thought keeping 24 from getting a fourth foul there was magnificent.
Well, I think I appreciate the feedback. That's why I asked. And we did have a fourth table official. I stopped that about 3 years ago because the fourth table official made the wrong decision and overturned everybody. And I think that it's probably prudent that we can go back to that, to have somebody there that is going to give an official ruling, or to all help us collaborate to make sure that we get the right decision made at the end. But I appreciate that feedback.
Well,
Yes,
Mr. Beasley, I in my opinion, I thought it was great because I knew I was wrong. My problem is I didn't know who else to put it on. I knew 24 was probably not the right one, but I was going to guess any other time, and then I would have had it wrong again. So in that situation, I was happy that it happened. I could see a situation where there's maybe a judgment call and I call something, and maybe somebody from the table might come up and give information that I might not like. And that's why I appreciated the way you guys handled it before the game by saying, we'll give you the information, you decide what you want to do with it.
Yeah, and I always support you guys. If y'all would have went with what you originally was, I would have gone to battle for you. Jimmy, I'm sorry we took over your training here.
Oh no, I love it. That's what it's about. I love it. I love that you're involved. You guys should be lucky. You guys have guys at the top who have your back. It doesn't always happen. So
we always do.
Well, the coach for Bartow, just so you know, his whole argument was that he said whether the call is correct or not, which he knew it was the right call, he said we don't have that luxury of having somebody at the table during any other regular season game. The only reason they know is because the replay played up on the big screen. And I told him, explained to him what we talked about before and how the crew was at the table to help us and get the call right. And he seemed to be okay with it after that.
Yes, sir.
There's something you could have said back to him. You know what, Coach? And we would have done the same thing for you.
Right.
And you just leave it. Here's the last thing that you could have done is you could have actually went up to the kid and say, hey, did you foul him? And if he says no, say who. Otherwise, it's going to be on you. And then hopefully his teammate will say that was on me. And then we know we got it correct. So that's another avenue you can take if you need.
Okay.
Coach is a great guy, and Coach is a great guy. We had they ended up winning, obviously, so we had a good laugh about it after the game, but that's exactly what he told me, and my answer was the exact same. If it was your kid, you would have wanted the right thing done.
Right.
And he was fine with that. And
Right.
sorry I hijacked your discussion. I thought that was really interesting because literally over the 5 years that I've been doing this, that this has come up 4 different times, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when we have a lot on the line, it always seems to be at these pivotal moments when a lot's on the line, we got to make sure we get it right. Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it. Sorry.
Oh no, thank you for stepping up and speaking up. I think that it's a huge learning point, and that was one thing that really, because like I said, this is the title game. This is for all the marbles, and you guys had thing is to get things right, no matter right, wrong, or indifferent. And like I said, I think you did the right thing. You exhausted all your avenues. The only avenue I think you could have went to was the last one, is to go up to the player and say, hey, obviously that wasn't on you. Who was the foul? Because if not, I got to leave it on you. And he doesn't want to come out. He's going to say, who fouled him? And he's going to make sure that they, and I will guarantee 11's going to come clean. Go, that was on me. And so that's an avenue you can take if you exhaust everything. Go to the players and ask, and hopefully they give you, they give you the information. But good job. I would say walking back, you calmed him down, which isn't easy to do in situations like this. And you talked to him, and you extended an ear to him, and you explained to him. Hopefully you said, Coach, by rule, we did A, B, C, and D, and that's why we can correct, because it's not a correctable error. We know that. It's just what kind of error am I looking for? It's a rules book error. What do they call it? An admin error. That's all it is. And we're gonna make sure we get it correct. And once you say by rule, I mean, what can they say? So I thought you guys handled, but it did stick out to me right away. I love how you went over to your partner, no information. Went to your third partner, nothing. You went to the table and asked. And like I said, I think the learning point from this would be, hey, when you walk over there prior to the game, if you guys have any information that we're getting ready to screw up, please, somebody score, whoever sees it, please stand up and get our attention, and that way we can get it right. That makes sense? Other than that, I mean, that's a great learning point for anybody who's on this call and sees, and this happens where we put the wrong foul on, or we put the wrong guy on the line, and we want to make sure we get it right, or we're not shooting free throws when we should shoot free throws, and we're communicating. This is huge. In a game like this, you just got to get it right. And I think that the moral of the story is at the end of the day, we didn't penalize the wrong person. So, all righty. Any questions on that? All right.
No. Great
So,
information.
let's go. Okay, go to 220. Go to like 230. We're going to talk about working to get a better angle. So now you're looking underneath. Okay, so go back. I want to watch how you walk yourself out of the open look. So I would take a step down a little further. So we're looking through maybe one step. Yeah, about right there, and stay where you're at. Now go ahead and play. And as he start right here, because now see as he's dribbling away, you have to have what we call purposeful movement. And instead of just kind of walking with the play, is walk with the purpose and get out there to have that play covered. Instead of a nice, like, easy walkout, we got to stay engaged with it by having that purposeful movement, by staying engaged in the play. So yeah, go ahead and play it. As you kind of just nonchalantly just kind of walk towards it, I'm walking out with the purpose to get that play and keep that open look, keep that open angle. Go ahead and continue. Go ahead and play it. So we're getting ready to come up to a play at 213. Pivot foot. Ron, you're looking at the play. Backside, what do you have on this play from your position? Because we got Stop right there. You're looking right at it from the back side. Gino, you
Uh-huh.
have front side, good coverage. What I would do is I would go to a high C, run, get higher up. Yeah, work high on that center, right to where the arrow is. Work on a
Okay.
high, get involved, stay
Uh-huh.
engaged. Gino, I think you're fine. Go ahead and finish and play. Did you have a travel backside, or do you have pivot foot? Is which foot?
Left.
So let's talk about the last play. We have a bump, which causes the travel. Does he get bumped here? See, what happened was, this is what happened, and I think Ron has the pivot foot, Gino, and so he stays with the pivot foot and never moves. And so the right foot, which does a jab, right,
Yes, sir.
makes it look like a travel. The pivot foot never moves. There's no bump. See that jab right, kind of like it just looked ugly. And the pivot foot never moved. Backside, I think Ron has a look at the pivot foot, and I don't think it ever slides.
Okay.
This is just my opinion. I'm laying off of this because it looks like a travel right there, but the pivot foot stays home, and it's just that front foot slides forward, and it makes it look like a travel.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Right, wrong, or indifferent? Ron, what's your opinion? See,
Like you,
what makes it look bad is it's just a long stride, and so it just kind of, see, the pivot foot stayed, it was just a long stride, and it just looked ugly when he stepped through. So just something to think about. First thing we want to do is pick up pivot foot, and be aware of the pivot foot, what's happening with it. That was just an ugly step through. I don't think it was a travel, but I'm not always right. So go ahead and go to 120, 120, go to 130. Okay, so we have a whistle on a cap. Stop right here, stop. Floor coverage. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I think the reason why I say we're in a close down at lead, center position, what I would do is, I would start going up, taking steps up, because right now, the ball's your side. Ron's looking off to see what the lead's going to do. He's still got to be awareness of high play. Right now, we have these sets now. Everything's running high with offensive sets, right? So we have high screens, high cuts, high chucks. So we got a referee. We're always going to have two referee plays when we have high play like this on the perimeter. So right now, this can turn into a two referee play. And where it's going to be, and the reason why I say, Gino, if you step up, we've got 11 coming over to possibly do a back pick on 20, right? We have a possible double team, right? So
Yes.
we've got to see front side reach, back side push. Go ahead and continue. Stop. Okay. So that's where now you, as you're high, now you see that we got a high set. Then we just take our 1 to 2 steps down to where we can see our high screens right there at the top of the key. So that's where you're looking and officiating right now. Jason, if I can ask you right now, what would you be officiating right now?
All of the back screens and anything that comes from behind the play where I have a clear look. There's not one person in the lane.
Okay, so let's say you see where the top of the key is, the two bigs right there.
Yeah.
So if blue comes, does a whirl, does kind of like a S move, kind of pretends like he's going to go out and comes on the back side and sets a screen, would you come get that if it was illegal, or would you just say, would you
In
leave it
that
alone?
situation, yeah, because I don't have anyone else anywhere.
You guys agree or disagree?
I agree with him.
Who's that? Gino?
Ron.
Ron?
I agree with you, Jason.
100%, Jay. 100%. Go get that anywhere, because I'll guarantee it. See, a lot of times guys are like, okay, well, coaches are going to say what? Well, he's right there. He's right on top of the play. You know what? It's not about proximity anymore. It's about who has the best look, who has the second best look, and who has the third best look. Right now, you're looking over the pasture. You're seeing everything and anything. And so you absolutely can go get it. And I'm saying this more as a reminder because I can tell that you've all officiated on. But when I do a lot of video breakdown or when I'm or if I'm working a camp, a lot of times I'm just doing reminders. And also if there's new officials that are on that don't understand it, just be aware that if you see something, one, non-basketball, go get anywhere on the floor. Or two, if you have no competitive matchups in your primary area that you can assist on, don't be afraid to assist on it. But with that said, make sure that the official in the primary isn't passing or officiating and it's their play. Make sure that they cannot see it, that you need to come and assist on it, if that makes sense. But absolutely, Jason, I would, I mean, that's your play if you need to come get that play. Okay, go ahead and continue. So we're going to look at, right? Okay, we have okay, you have a cap. Okay, and I just want to, let's talk about your position. Stop. Okay, stop. Great position. You're looking right at it. Are you referring the defender or are you referring the offense player? Jace?
I should be refereeing the defender.
No, yeah, you should. I'm just if that's what you're refereeing, perfect. Okay, continue. Okay, stop. Trail, Ron. You need to get engaged, and as soon as that ball started to penetrate, you need to stay connected to the play. You should be at the 28-foot line right now, and if not, even further deeper down. So
I would agree. I would agree 100%.
Yeah. So as soon as you see this play here, as soon as you see him, as the ball's releasing from his hand, you're seeing you need to have purposeful movement and bust your butt down to get here to help Jace anything backside with the cut or whatever on the block.
Okay.
And now got a hand on the ball, pass it loose. I think positioning is perfect. The only thing I'd like to see is trail move down on this play. Now let's watch the go ahead and continue. Let's watch the replay on this. You think, Jace? You like it?
Yeah.
You like the cap? Or would you like a play on, a no call play on? And
He does let go of it.
I think you're right position to see the play. In my opinion, my humble opinion, this is a play on because he doesn't cap him, he taps it out of his hands. He releases the ball and it gets hit from behind.
Okay.
Tap. And I think what happened was if you, like I told you earlier, start, develop, finish, and make your decision. I think you would have said to yourself, clean block, tap. I think you reacted instead of responded to this play. Right. And don't feel bad because we all do it. I've done it. Everybody from the NBA all the way up down to the 7th grade, you boys and girls have done it. So it's not anything that we haven't done. It's just something that to be aware of start, develop, finish, and make a decision. I think we have a play on this play. Just my opinion. All right. Okay, let's go to 0.5 seconds. 5-2. I'm sorry, 5 seconds. Yeah, you can let it run down from here, Maddie. Okay, go back to where let it play down from about 10. And I want to see if we have a foul on this play or not and where our positioning was. Stop. Go back. So Jason, as this ball is right here, stop. you should be staying connected to this play and following this in all the way down. You should be right now, you should be right in front of the guy, not the baby blue or the royal blue, but the one in front of him, the coach sitting down in the black coat or whatever. Be open, because what's happening now, you're not involved in the play anymore once it beats you. So you got to understand, we're all at 6 seconds, so we need all 6 eyes on this play. So as soon as that ball went away from you, stay connected with it and follow it down. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, I think I became a spectator.
Yeah. Go ahead. Stop. Okay, because right now you're way out there, and if you're underneath the 28-foot mark, 2 or 3, like where we'd like to see you, maybe even a little further down. Yeah, right there. Now you're valuable with rebounding, off-ball rebounding. Because out there, 2 things. One, you might be able to see it, but you're so far away, you're going to get, how can you call it from out there? But if you're closer to the play, as we know that plays get closer to the basket towards the end of the game, either a drive because they're trying to help get us to draw a foul, or they're trying to stack for rebounding, your call's going to be more believable. Okay, so we got a good job of center trying to get position. Go ahead and play. Okay, now I want you to watch the rebounding foul. Go ahead. Does he push him in the back in order to get that rebound? Does he clear? Right there, you see? Or do you feel, and see, Jace, you'd be right on top of that, be able to see that. And then Gino, you've got to look on it too.
I remember the game, I don't have him doing a push so much right there, Jim. I had more so that as he kind of like put the elbow up on his shoulder blades, and I didn't never have him extend. I can see here clearly now from looking at it in my house, at the lead position, I just had him having the elbow up on him.
Okay, so you just have athletes being athletes going after the ball.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I like that analogy.
Okay. All right. No worries. And then, yeah, I think that the thing on this is I'd love to see Jason just down involved in the play here, and be able to assist. And that way we would have had it boxed in perfect. All right. And then,
did you have a foul, Mr. Jimmy?
No, I don't have a foul. But then again, I can't see. But then again, the way that the rebounder's body went forward and kind of at an angle, I really can't tell. I didn't know if it was a quick shove in order for him to separate himself to get the rebound. So and I know everybody says, it's 56-56 and that's blood, you have to be 100% sure that because now you're sending the kid to the line, right? And now he's shooting free throws with 0.1 left to go. So I love the no call. It's more of the awareness of, does he separate in order to get the rebound, in order to get an advantage on rebounding. Okay. All right. Good job so far. Let's go to our overtime, and we only got a few plays in overtime that would like to discuss and talk to you guys about. One thing I do want to commend you guys on is busting your ass to this game. You guys did not take a play off, and you guys did exactly what you guys were supposed to do and got selected to do. So congrats on that. So this is our overtime. Jace, both prior to the game and overtime game, great toss. Good job of starting the game off correct, getting it done right. So everyone else who's listening, always get the toss correct, because it starts your game off correct, and it just feels a lot better as we move on to the game. Okay, stop. Go back. Here's our post play again. Okay. Now, if we were consistent at the beginning of the game, this would not have happened. So as we can see that blue displaces white, right, in order to get an advantage right there. Now, if he throws it over the top and he gains an advantage and he makes a layup, we just allowed blue to get an easy layup. But this all goes back to what? The first rebounding action that we had in the beginning of the game. Remember, no matter if it's at 7 in, in the first quarter or 3 seconds left to go in the game, if we're consistent throughout the whole game, there isn't anything. But one thing you guys were consistent of not calling this, and this is something that needs to be called in order for your game to go a lot smoother. Go ahead. There's a displacement. There's your offensive foul. That makes sense. So let's go back one more. I just want to take a look at your positioning. Okay, stop right there. Okay, so did we have a rotation on this play? Go back a little bit further, Matt. Yeah, right there. Okay, good. So go ahead and run it.
Yes, we did.
Okay,
Oh, Ron,
stop. Perfect. Gino, this is a great job of stepping down and staying with the play until it dissolves. That's still your play, no matter if there's a rotation or not, right? Jason, have an awareness of the lead coming over, should be on his way down right now. Go ahead and play, Maddie. Okay, stop. So right here, you should have just stayed. Right where when I told you great job of refereeing, because that play hasn't dissolved yet. That's still your play. And now what you're doing is you're walking yourself out of your open look. Because now, if you were down where you originally were, looking through, you're going to see the slap down. If there's a rip through by 24, it's kind of a rip through to a drive, and you see the defender's arm slap down or hold, you've got the open look. But right now, go ahead and play, you keep walking, stop, and now you walk yourself out of the open look. And if he does tries to jump, get up quick on a shot, you're going to miss the point of contact. So remember, stay home until that play dissolves. There's a saying that we always say, we can always have 2 C's, but we never want to have 2 T's. So if we have 2 centers, that's okay, because we've got it boxed in. You can stay. And now as soon as it dissolves, then we purposeful movement out to our starting position, which is our 28-foot mark. And we get our best angle to help assist on inbound, our guard play, or whatever our secondary plays are going to be. But go ahead and play. So stay home until dissolve. Stop. Now, right here, your positioning, good job of being on it, Ron. Just staying, you're on top of it. I think you guys got it covered right. Go ahead and continue. The only thing that, like I said, is I would like to have seen Gino just stay home and then come out after it dissolved. Other than that, that's a great coverage, floor coverage on an offensive set. Okay, go back. Okay. So Gino, go ahead and play it forward. Good job. Stop. Right here. Stay sideline oriented. Okay. I like the position adjustments. Just stay sideline oriented. Okay, go ahead and play. Stop. Now look at your bot. Now you're at center, and you're straight on to the end line. All right. So if we stay sideline oriented, as this play was going towards the basket, and you were sideline oriented where you're at, you could have taken your step down 1 to 2 steps. Would have gave you the open look on 3 blue. If there's a possible hand check, a possible hold, a possible reroute, you'd be able to see that. But right now, you go ahead and continue. If you step down. Okay, so now what did you have? I think you had a double dribble. So right now, boom, I'm position adjusting down in order to keep my open look, keep my open angle. Boxed in. Good close down, Jace. Where's my trail? Let's see, where is? Okay. On our trail position, just a kind of a reminder is your starting position is at your 28-foot mark. which is where, you know, that little line up. That's where we like to get started, and then we can adjust, move around where we need to adjust to get our open looks. Okay, so this is a big call. Okay. So we got to drive to the basket, and we'll watch the replay on it as well. So who's our foul on? 24, right? He's one of the studs, right?
Right.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Block. Okay. So now let it play, Matt. We'll watch the. We have a slip move. Do we have contact? What do we have? What do you guys have on this play, in your opinion?
From watching it off the video, slip move.
And then Jace, can you walk us through it? What did you see? And
I think live, I thought the 24 didn't keep his verticality, and he affected the shot. That's why I came in and got it.
Okay.
I thought that I held my whistle a little longer, but it doesn't look like I did. I didn't let Ron get it first.
Okay, so go back to the beginning of this play, or yeah, that's fine, right? Okay, I want to ask you to ask yourself. I liked your whistle cadence, and I'll tell you why. Is because it's not on contact, it's on the result, right? So, Ron, did you have a foul on this play, or were you passing on it?
I was passing on it. I stayed off the play.
Okay. What did you have? Do you have a slip play on this too? Is that what you had?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Jace, was 24 in a legal guardian position when this foul occurred?
Well, I mean, it's pretty questionable. I would say no, because he's not really not facing the ball carrier completely, but.
Okay. So from your angle, from your position, because I think you got I think you're in perfect position to officiate this play. Stop. Okay. So now, are you officiating 24 or are you officiating 11?
24, but that's what I should have been. I don't know for sure at the time.
Okay. That's all right, man. That's why we video, man. Hey, I tell you, this is why this is a complex play, because you got 11, right? So if White slips 24, right, like we think he did, and now you got 11 that now we got to concentrate on, right? Because if you slip 24 now, so who's your primary areas of coverage, right? So you're asking, is he a primary? Is 24 a primary area, or is 11 primary? So in my opinion, before I get to my opinion, did you guys talk about place to the basket and who's coverage and who's first opportunity in pregame?
In pregame, yeah, we did.
So on place of the basket, what was your pregame you guys talked about?
Our pregame was where the play originated from would take it. Okay.
Even if it's a secondary defender?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. So it's just plays of the basket, whoever's primary starts with, that's what you guys, that was your contract in the locker room, that you guys said, well, this is what we're going to do. Okay. So here's just my opinion. This is what I would do. In my opinion, this is a tough play. I'm laying off of it at lead because I know it's a center side, and I can't see the whole play. So unless I absolutely see a disruption in the play, then I'm going to have a secondary cadence. Your cadence I love. I think it's right on point because you were late on it. You probably didn't think Ron saw it, so you came and got it. In my opinion, I'm laying off of this as I'm seeing, because I'm referencing the defender the whole time, and I see him try to, but he kind of slips and kind of moves out of the way. And I'm just going to let Ron live and die with that. Unless it's absolutely that it's a foul, you see it on the arm, or you see something that absolutely needs to be get.
Well, watching on the replay, I would agree with you 100%.
Yeah. But you know, like we've talked about, we don't have the luxury of replay during live ball, right? You're going with your experience. You're on this game for a reason. And sometimes we jump on plays and it doesn't matter. Like I said, it's going to happen. But this is just my opinion is I would, on those type of plays, I would, when I see it again, if it happens in a game next time, is I would, unless I absolutely see illegal contact, then I'm going to lay off of it. You know, I'm not saying you didn't see it. I'm just saying that this is something that my thought process is when I officiate. So this is a little something. Okay, a little bit more. We'll go a little bit more, and then we'll wrap it up. I think you know what? Let's go to this. Go to I think it's 1.3. So kind of towards the end, we have because you guys do a pretty good job of calling the obvious fouls on this. I mean, you had 3 on blue and 2 on white. I think that fouls out. So go ahead and let it play out here. Okay, so in the corner, oh, let's go back. Let's go back to this play here. This is the one I wanted to go to for. Okay, so we have a shot, and we have a possible block, and Gino, you have a foul on here. Okay, so let's go back. Stop. Okay, so stop right there. Okay, so you're looking at the play. Okay, are you refereeing the defender, or are you refereeing contact? Are you refereeing the offense to see for a kick out? What is your, talk me through your thought process on this play. And do you understand there's 6 seconds left to go?
In both instances, I know 12 has a tendency to do the Kobe Bryant kick. So I was looking for that from the offense, but then I was watching at the top, knowing what the time was on the clock, watching at the top, Mr. Jim, to see any contact at the on the airborne shooter.
Okay.
And as he came through, as the shot is coming through, he comes right across the wrist, the right hand wrist of the shooter. Okay,
that's fine. If, you know, the call validations I'm not too worried about. Let's talk about your position right now. Where would you like to be? Would you like to be somewhere else? Would you like to be in a better position? Or are you okay with it?
Now, well, when the ball swung over, being a trail, I would have liked, now having learned from you today, I would like to have been down closer here in front of this guy in the blue at the top of the white 3-point line there.
Awesome. And now that is just understanding its gun and just having that purposeful movement, just getting to where you need to get to see the play. A lot of times we get lazy, we get lax, and it's not that we're trying to look lazy. We're trying to look calm and relaxed. So with our position adjustments, we want to make sure it's purposeful and we're doing it for a reason. And so as soon as this ball, you see it leaving his tip and you're going over, right now at this spot right here, I'm heading down. I'm even if I got to take a quick sprint to get down, to get to where I can see the defender. Watch, like I said, it's the point of contact, which is the feet, offense, defender, and then point of contact, which is the elbow. That's your progression on a shot. You look at the feet, you go to the defender, then you go to the elbow, and that'll tell you as you referee the defender. One thing I want you guys to think about, and my call percentage has gone way up early in my career when I was told this, is always referee the defense whenever plays are, because the defender's going to tell the story. The defender's going to be able to tell you if he makes the contact, and the defender's also going to show you if the offense creates the contact. Once you do that on every play, your play calling will go up immensely. The only time I watch the offensive players when I don't have when he or she has the ball on a triple threat to either pass, dribble, or shoot, where they still have their dribble left, to make sure that they don't travel, they don't shuttle. So if there's not a competitive matchup on there, I'm aware of his or her pivot foot, and I'm watching. And then once they make them move and it's legal, I'm going right to the defender and I'm refereeing the defender the whole play. I don't take my eyes off the defender at all, but I'm having awareness of what the offensive player is doing. So for the rest of your career, what I would say really work on is just refereeing the defender, referee the defender, and watch how much easier this game slows down for you. So, all right. So biggest thing here, like I said, right, wrong, or indifference on this play, I'm not worried about. I just wanted to make sure that you understand, guys, when we have plays like this, we have to show that we're working our asses off to get to the best look. Okay. All right. And go ahead and go down to 1.3. Let it play out. Okay, so we got 1.3 here. Jace, did you see a reach or foul, or did you see a jump ball from center? Because Ron's behind that.
Yeah, I probably should have come across and helped him out. He couldn't see it on this side of it, although he does have his hand on the ball. But
Yeah, no, I just want to know that now we're talking coverage, right? We're talking assistance. We're talking about being able to help out on plays like that. Here's what I'd like to see. One is have an assistant with Jason. You'd be able to help assist on that. But the key to this right here, Ron, is you got to sell that jump ball. You got to come around the players and sell it, because you got 1.3 and you only have a 3-point game, and you just kind of nonchalantly give a jump ball, right? So you need to come out and sell it. That's, sell it, and then get the players set up to where they need to go. But you need to show, because the reason why I say that is, well, one, the commentators are like, oh, we got a timeout. We got, oh, what do we have? What's going on? And then they have to go back to finally see that we had a jump ball. Now, what's the discussion with you guys right here? with Jason and Gino.
Oh, I think it's something, the arrow. Coach is complaining it's his ball, I think, in this situation. Yes, correct.
Okay. That's so.
Do you agree, Jason? Yeah, I think that's. I'm not involved in it, but
I came over with a question to Gino because I questioned a jump ball that we had, but I think it was I thought it was in the third, but in the overtime it was in the fourth. That's why I came over to him.
So you're just communicating to make sure you got it right.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the coach is arguing about possession arrow.
Right. Oh, okay. That's perfect. Now you did it. You went over there. You communicated with it. Made sure you got it right. You let them know we're communicating on point. You got it right. You got the play in. But the biggest thing was make sure it's a center. So we're talking positioning. Is be aware with that, with only 1.3, that we need to help out the lead, especially if there's a trap right there. And then lead, if you're going to go with the jump ball because you're on the backside and you really can't see it as well, you got to sell it. Get out there and just get that jump ball kind of look, and then just look at Jason, and Jason did the right thing as he points to let you know what direction we're going.
Gotcha.
There was one play in the first, before I let you guys go, that I tried to get this to you guys last week, was there was a play where a kid goes out of the game, and then he tries to come in without a tick going off. And Ron, you go to Gino and you tell him the rule, correct? That he cannot come.
It was Jason.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah, it was me and Jason, right. Correct.
Right, but somebody, I think Jason. I think it was Ron that went to Jason.
Right.
Right. Here's what I'm trying to get to you guys. When you know the rule, it makes your job so much easier. That was absolutely fantastic. In fact, and I hope you guys do not mind, but I'm going to clip that, and I'm going to save that, and I'm going to show the guys out here on the West Coast that I mentor of how communication is supposed to look like. Second thing is, Jason, fantastic job of letting Ron come over to you, give you the information, and you not big time just, saying, okay, I got it, perfect, got it. You did a great job of leading, and you guys did a great job of understanding communication amongst the crew. I wanted to say that. So overall, I thought you guys did a hell of a job. There were some plays of some complexity that we can look at and we can always learn from, and it was a pleasure breaking it down. You guys did a nice job. So I appreciate you letting me give a little bit of insight of what I think.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
Appreciate the feedback.
You guys, nice job. That was fun.
Hey, Jimmy, do you mind answering a few questions?
Not at all.
Okay, we had one from Lee. Lee, are you still on? I'll give you access to ask the question. All right, 1 second.
Matt, if you're still on too, you can jump in.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hi, Lee.
I just wanted to ask, what would you call on that one where he was impeding his movement? It was around, I think, the second quarter one. What
Right,
is
the
the
guard
actual
play.
call?
Yeah, I'm calling a hand check unless if he hips him, then I'll probably call a push.
Okay.
Yeah, because as he's trying to get around, he's pushing him out with his hip. So I'm probably my mechanic will probably be a push. And then if the coach asks me, well, what I'm just gonna say, it's an impede with his hip. It's a push. He's
Okay.
pushing him. He's not allowing him to get to his line of from A to B. That's usually we get those a lot at our level where the guy thinks he's playing, he's riding long. But if you referee the defender, you see the defender's going forward and using his hip. And it's automatic. It's pretty easy. But I'm using a push.
Okay. I appreciate that, Jimmy. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, another one that came in, Lincoln. He had a question on some of the things number 24. So Lincoln, if you want to go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, Jimmy, I don't know if it's really a big deal. I think that's play at the end in the fourth period. And I think Jason was in lead. And I guess I was just kind of thinking, I don't know if you kind of alluded to it earlier in the game too. I don't know what you would call it, maybe game management but it was number 24. I mean, you're a big guy. You were talking about how it's, these guys were key to the game and just kind of having that in your head, I guess. I didn't know if that was something for you to maybe just talk about at all or elaborate, or I don't know if that's anything that you can talk about at all, but
Oh, absolutely.
I
Because
don't know what I was thinking.
So
Um,
the biggest thing that can get you to move up the ladder and get you respect and get you trust from players and coaches is communication. That's the bottom line. If you can communicate with the coaches and players, you're going to gain and earn their trust and respect. But what I would say is when you have something like that and we miss a play, our antennas and one thing good about the crew, they understood that they missed it. And they understood, which is the biggest thing, is making sure you understand what we did either incorrect or we did correct. But the main thing to do is we need to address it no matter what. And if it's from, hey, guys, we missed it down there on both of you, next time it's going to be a double foul. And then that's when I go into what I tell you about communicating. Listen, guys, we need you in this game. And besides, and I even go a step further. Listen, if you guys are going to play at the next level, which I think you are, y'all need to calm down, man. Play your game. Work hard. And what I do is I stroke their ego a little bit, but yet I'm sending a message to let them know, listen, we ain't going to do that. And then next time I make a call or I do that and the coach questions me, I'm going to say, Coach, I talked to him. I tried to help him and he didn't want to listen. And then I'll say, did I tell you or not tell you? And so I communicate as much as I can, especially if I miss a call. I'm going to let them know that I missed it and it ain't going to happen again. But I'm going to do it to the point to where I don't degrade them. I'm going to do it to where they feel like I'm still trying to help them out. That makes sense? But make sure let them know that you missed it, that you missed the play, so that they know that they're not going to do it again.
Yeah, and I think I appreciate that. And I think my question, I think I might confuse you a little bit too, was another play on 24. And I haven't seen this game, but I don't know if it was his fifth foul, but I think it was at the very end of the fourth period.
Oh, he does a slip?
Ball was a block. Yeah, and there was a slip.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a judgment call. So I don't ever. Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough play. It's a judge.
I mean, do you consider the players at all? Like, okay, this is number 24. He's probably maybe their best player.
Oh yeah, I'm
going
thinking
through your head at all. I mean,
yeah, I'm thinking that's game management. I'm talking to myself. I'm also telling my crew, hey, 24 has 4. Let's make it a good one. If he fouls, let's make sure it's a foul that stands out. And it's not cheating. It's just we're just being aware of what and who can make our game better. So absolutely, I'm even saying something to the crew. And like I said, it's a tough call. It's a judgment call. And Jason felt that he wasn't legal and he turned into it. And hey, it is what it is, right? So I'll never question anybody's judgment. That's it. It's all about positioning, getting the best position to see the play. So that's something you definitely want to know, though. Good question.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any other questions? If so, you can raise your hand in the participants option or type it in the chat. I do see that Frank joined us. I don't know if he has anything else he wants to mention or talk about. So I'll give him some time to talk. And if you have questions, please let us know. And if not, we'll wrap it up. All right, go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Jimmy, thank you so much for coming on here and working with our officials. This is awesome. I can't say thank you enough to Jeremy for putting all this together behind the scenes. It's an awful lot of work for him to piece all this together and make sure everybody, especially me, and I don't have a lot of tech savviness, that he makes sure we're all on the same page and we understand how to get on here. So we're going to do so many more of these in the future. This has been absolutely outstanding. I hope all of your families stay safe during this tough time. And as we move forward, we look back to getting on the fields and the courts in the near future, and we'll do this again soon.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks for allowing me to do it. You guys, I've known Jeremy a long time, and I know what you guys have. So I appreciate you guys even entrusting letting a good person from the West Coast come over to the East Coast and share a little bit of what we do. So I appreciate you guys. And Maddie, thanks, man.
Yes, thank you, Matt. All right, well, I haven't received any other questions in either of the boxes. So Jimmy, thank you for joining us. Gino, Ron, and Jason, thank you for allowing us to use the film and being good sports. And
yeah, Jeremy, let me add, I'm sorry, you know, I like to talk. Hey, I really can't say thank you enough to CFOA and the crew that worked that game. This has got to be so difficult, not difficult, but to sit amongst your peers and work through a whole game film. Usually when you break down film, you can get feedback, you know, one-on-one, but to sit in front of, you know, literally 50, 60 people and to get that feedback is sometimes more difficult. We appreciate you being humble. I appreciate the CFOA and what you all do. And y'all are some of the best officials that we have, and that's why you work these big games. And I just want to say I appreciate you.
Very good. Well said. Well said.
Yeah, so thank you, you three. We appreciate it. Like Frank said, to everybody else, thank you for joining us. As Frank mentioned, and I've mentioned in a couple emails, we're definitely going to be doing some more of these. Already planning on another big guest either next week or in a couple weeks, depending on their schedule. So be on the lookout for that. And with that, Jimmy, if you have anything else you want to say to close, we can wrap it up.
Just be safe, guys, and looking forward to hearing how you guys do. And Jeremy, you're more than welcome to give my email to those guys if they want any more feedback or if they want anything else or they don't agree, whatever. If they just want to communicate, they are more than welcome to.
Awesome. Thank you. So Ron, Gino, Jason, if you have any questions, anyone else, just email me and I can get you Jimmy's contact information.
Absolutely. Thanks again, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Good night, guys. Be safe. Thank you.
Likewise.